For a second, it felt like nothing special. In a league where alien rookies were already bending reality, where 7-foot unicorns and freight-train teenagers had completely warped expectations, Cooper Flagg's debut didn't break the internet. There were no jaw-dropping highlights looping on every feed, no instant coronation, just solid basketball, efficient, quiet, almost forgettable. And that was the mistake, because while the world looked away, history was already loading. We are now watching an 18-year-old rewrite rookie records in real time. Not with hype, but with numbers that force uncomfortable conversations. And the scariest part isn't what Cooper Flagg has already done. It's how early he's doing it. But to understand how wild this run really is, you have to go back to the moment everyone misjudged him. Cooper's first NBA game looked fine on paper. A double-double, efficient touches, winning plays, the kind of debut that coaches love and social media ignores. In a world trained to expect fireworks from the opening tip, fine felt like a letdown, especially when recent rookies had delivered viral moments instantly. That single night quietly shaped the narrative. People started asking questions they probably shouldn't have been asking yet. Was the hype too much? Was he more system than superstar? Did he need more time than expected? But history has never rewarded snap judgments, especially when the player in question is barely old enough to vote. When you actually line up rookie debuts side by side, Cooper's wasn't an outlier at all. Some of the greatest players ever started slow. Others looked human before the switch flipped. The difference is that most of them were older when they figured it out. Cooper wasn't. At just 18 years old, he became one of the youngest players to ever start an NBA game. Not young for a rookie. Historically young. Younger than almost anyone we now treat as untouchable. He was only days older than LeBron was when LeBron debuted, and that context changes everything. Because players at that age aren't supposed to dominate grown professionals. They're supposed to survive, learn rotations, adjust to speed, put on weight, make mistakes. Cooper skipped the survival phase. Once the calendar flipped, so did the conversation. The first crack in the narrative came quietly. A scoring night that tied one of the most iconic age-based records in league history. Same age, same days lived, same threshold crossed. Suddenly, the comparison people were avoiding showed up anyway. Matching a record is one thing. Breaking it is another. And Cooper didn't hesitate. There are only a handful of teenagers in NBA history who've dropped 35 points in a game. Fewer who've done it at 18. And then there's Cooper Flagg, becoming the youngest ever to cross that line, doing it younger than legends did when they were already being called future faces of the league. That should have been the moment the noise exploded. Instead, it got brushed off as a hot night. So he went further. A few games later, Cooper crossed into territory no 18-year-old had ever touched before. 40 points, not in a blowout, not on empty possessions, against real defenders, real pressure, real expectations. At that moment, he stood alone. No other 18-year-old had ever done it. And somehow, even then, the most important part of his rise still wasn't being talked about. Because raw points don't tell the full story. Efficiency does. When you zoom out and compare Cooper's first stretch of games to historic rookie seasons, the surface numbers look familiar. Scoring averages in the same neighborhood. Usage that doesn't scream system inflated. Assists and rebounds right where you'd expect from a versatile forward. But when you zoom in, the picture changes completely. At just over 50% effective field goal percentage, Cooper isn't just keeping pace with elite rookie seasons, he's clearing them. By a lot. That gap matters. Efficiency measures how many possessions you waste, and Cooper wastes far fewer than the players he's being compared to. When you translate that into points per possession, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Give rookie LeBron 100 possessions, and you get solid production. Give those same possessions to Cooper, and you get significantly more points. Not because he shoots more, because he shoots smarter. The same comparison holds against rookie versions of Kevin Durant and Victor Wembanyama. Cooper isn't beating them with volume. He's beating them with decision-making, timing, and shot selection that most players don't develop until their mid-20s. And he's doing it while still growing into his body. That's the part that should scare people. Because this isn't a finished product squeezing out everything it has. This is a teenager still adding muscle, still learning angles, still adjusting to defensive schemes designed specifically to stop him. Over his most recent stretch, the acceleration has been undeniable. His scoring has jumped into the league's top tier over that span, not among rookies, among everyone. And the game has slowed down for him in ways that don't show up in box scores. He's reading help defenders earlier, making skip passes before traps arrive, turning defensive rebounds into instant offense, playing with the calm of someone who already knows how the story ends. That's when narratives start breaking, because people want rookie success to follow a predictable arc: struggle, flash, plateau, then explode later. Cooper skipped steps, and now analysts are being forced to update opinions in real time, which is never comfortable. The league doesn't like fast answers. Fans don't either. It's easier to dismiss early dominance as hype than to admit you might be watching something historically rare unfold right in front of you. Especially when the player doesn't look like the monsters we're used to. No freakish wingspan headlines, no viral pregame rituals, just results. And that's why the conversation keeps getting delayed. But history doesn't wait for comfort. Every sacred rookie milestone Cooper touches becomes less about potential and more about trajectory. And trajectory is what separates stars from outliers. The uncomfortable truth is this: Cooper Flagg isn't chasing rookie records. He's hunting benchmarks that were supposed to be safe until players matured. And he's doing it before his teenage years are even over. That forces a question nobody wants to answer yet. If this is what he looks like at 18, what does 22 look like? What does a fully developed version of this player do to a league that's already struggling to keep up? Because the scariest thing about Cooper Flagg isn't that he's ahead of legends at the same age. It's that he's doing it quietly. No victory laps, no public declarations, just steady escalation, game by game, record by record. We're not watching a hot streak. We're watching the baseline form. And history is being updated live.